Can you hear me breathing?
Hi. Welcome back to the Deeply Rooted Show.
It sounds like a sports show.
Welcome back to the Deeply Rooted Show. Thank you. I'm Silo, and I'm not alone as usual. I'm with Slew. It's not usual yet. It's still the second show.
Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
All right, bruv. How are you, bruv?
I'm alright. Did you do any gambling yesterday?
Fuck Man City, dog.
Because gambling is always gambling.
Listen,
don't you forget it. There are risks involved.
Yeah. There's risks, but listen.
I'm listening.
Or showcase fit. Usually we're going for the showcases. Mind you, it's humans, so it's never a showcase. But in terms of probability's sake, we showcase.
So yeah, guys.
Bro. Get draw. Getting it draw.
Yeah, guys.
One draw.
Yeah. So how do you feel when you do lose? It's a part of you get chipped away. Your manhood.
Not really. I think I put it into perspective though.
What do you mean?
Like, I was thinking about it. It's like you don't want to get too excited. Like you get that one win and you're like, oh my God, it's the Da Vinci Code. But then it's like,
It's the Da Vinci.
Yeah, it's like the whole map or whatever. But nah. So I just put it into perspective in the sense of it's okay. Realistically, the reason why I made that decision, what fucked out, what to look out for next, in danger. Yeah, so you put into perspective.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Right.
You had what'd you do today? You went out
today? Yeah. I went out. What I did?
Did a recce.
I did a recce. Yeah, for real.
Talked about mental health.
Well, the thing's gonna be about my mental health. It's not like it's a talk, you know, one of those famous talks, but this talk won't be shown to the public.
About mental health?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's like a private corporate thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's actually weird. It's weird, but it's like a private corporate thing, which it is a public thing, but like they shooting it this time for like private use in terms of to source funding, etc.
Okay.
Yeah, but they still putting together like a decent crowd. Yeah, that's gonna have this chat about mental health.
And how do you feel about talking about mental health?
Let's define what mental health is.
Just define what mental health, Google. Yeah. Hey Siri, what is mental health? Please don't embarrass me. Mental health includes emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood to adolescence through adulthood. Okay, and then I'll go under. This is just a quick Google search. What are mental health problems? Anger, anxiety, panic attacks, bipolar disorder, body dysmorphia disorder, borderline personality disorder, depression, disassociation, and dissociative disorders.
Hectic. I don't know,
So basically, when I'm just, because the idiot that I am is telling me to say like, or think it's when your brain is not calm.
I read that thing again, Doug. Please, Doug.
You read it.
Fuck you. Avenge ngithanda ukufunda kabili.
Alright, klar. You're a trauma.
Okay, mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Okay, that's what it includes. So if mental health was a circle, you'd be looking at emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Social, I'm guessing, also how you fit in with people, nah?
Yeah, your social standing.
Okay, it affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make... It
but
sounds
that's
like
social stress.
United rings to me.
Yeah.
Mental fitness.
In a sense, yes, because...
Not mental health.
I guess, but But health is fitness. Can we agree? Like, look at it physically. Physically too. Yes, you can be healthy and not be fit, as in like your lack of fitness is not creating or facilitating or adding to disease. It's a baseline.
Sure.
And then when you're fit, you can be fit and healthy but still have cancer type of thing. But like fitness is a great indicator to health. It's not the same thing in a sense.
Sure, yeah.
So I guess okay. I wanted to say it's the same thing with your brain. Is your fitness is an indication to how healthy it is.
Yeah, but what they're describing here is, I feel like, it's fitness as opposed to as opposed to like illness. Like illness would be, I caught it. Like I have what I have because I have it. Not because I have it, but like I caught it somewhere.
So in a sense, as the dumb idiots that we are, we're saying that to conceptualize mental health, it's kind of like the brain being fat.
Sure. You have to work it out. So like it's a fitness as opposed to an illness, in the sense that there's an external thing that you've contracted and now that has made you internally sick.
So you're saying the internal then causes the brain. It's almost like a malfunctioning of the computer. Almost don't want to use malfunctioning, but the computer's not sending the neuron where it's supposed to send, or the neuron is being blocked from receiving information on the other side.
Yeah, because the state in which the mind is kept is off. So it's either like it's either bloated, but it's consuming the wrong shit. Yeah, but like there's so many things that are going into how we are maintaining the fitness of this mind or of this mental, of this mind, dude.
Yeah.
When I read it, that's what comes to my head.
I need to look at those words again.
Yeah.
I kind of get it, and I do agree with you on a lot of things, but then anger is so normal that's what I'm saying. In such a normal everyday world, like people get angry at least once a day at work. So somebody got angry in the building that you work at or in the building that you live in. It's not that thing. Anxiety as well and panic attacks are like normal, but then can we say my anxiety attacks?
Yeah, is that like an illness?
Anxiety attack.
Yeah, is that like it's like if I'm scared to walk across the road, sharp. If I always stop before I cross the road because of whatever I'm feeling, then I'm not. It's almost like I almost look at it, if you're doing crunches or whatever and you stopped at 2 because doing the third one was too hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to soldier on or soldier through it in order to manage, because it's like what's creating that fear? Is it the unknown? Or like, where's that fear coming from? Is it like something that happened prior, or it's the unknown of something?
I think sometimes, and I'm just saying this as a human being, sometimes we just get attached to pleasure too much. Like, I don't want to do this, whether it be mentally, I don't want to go and rest. I want to distract myself with work. Or physically, I don't want to go run. I'd rather sit and put the pleasure of Netflix. I activate the Netflix dopamine because it's all the same, It's like, I believe the heroin addiction is the same as a tea addiction. It's just one is going to ruin your life. The other one's not really. And just price alone, it's like economically one doesn't affect you. You get 100 tea bags for 11 Rand or 15 Rand now in Cyril's economy. Who knows? But
it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's essentially the same thing. So then I guess it always goes back to that individual will inside of
fitness, dog.
Yeah.
Fitness, dog.
I think mental fitness don't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
If you can be fit enough to not lie to yourself,
Yeah.
I'm not even counting the trauma stuff. I'm not even
I'm not talking about any specific like experience.
I'm talking about a normal person with a normal life. No magic like woo-ha that makes you like, normal people.
Yeah. So So looking at that definition, I'm like, I don't know. That's why I think a lot of things maybe fall under that umbrella, but don't necessarily. Not that they don't necessarily fit. I just think if I know like my sadness is like falls under clinical depression, it's sort of like I can't really deal with it myself.
Yeah, you never
Like I need like an external thing to help me to deal with it, so it's not something that's in my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Now that it's been labeled, I'm not even looking at it. It's
Like it's not in my control.
It's like, oh, I have
I have a virus.
I have a virus inside me, and it makes it hard for me to want to do things like depression, for instance. I think I saw like depression actually like suppresses and like stops certain parts of your brains that would be normal in a normal healthy brain's firing. Like certain parts of your brain just stop speaking to each other during depression, and I've never been like clinically like thingy depressed, but the times in my head where I could feel or say retrospectively I was depressed, there is that not wanting to get out of bed thing.
Now question.
Yeah.
That depression, is it flung on you? Like one day you randomly came across somebody and you contracted depression, or is it something that like it built up in your life, like it almost like accumulated?
I think it's a little bit of, okay, I was gonna say a little bit of both, but it's something that happened as a result of something. I can say it like that. So
okay,
but then it goes back to internally, because it's how you look at whatever event or thing that makes you, like for me, I would have said the loss of hope, thinking all my ideas are out, I'm out of luck. This is it. I have nothing else to offer. I don't know what I can do that's different from yesterday, tomorrow, that's going to change the situation I am in.
Okay.
You understand? And that's slowly, you can see how it's already making me think like I have less and less options.
Yeah, it's like almost
psychologically.
like room. You don't have enough room. Like the room, like
psychologically. Psychologically.
Or options, rather.
Or options, you know. But whether it be just waking up one day and realizing that, hey, the sun's sunny.
So is that what helped you? Was it like what helped you when you felt like you had like few options or no options?
I think it was more of a realizing that I think I might have been depressed when I was happy again. Because you just go through, like you only realize, oh shit, I might have been depressed because I'm happy today. When like after 2 years, you suddenly have joy in your life. You know, I don't think
it's like a sugar rush.
Not even a sugar rush. It's just like it's dopamine. It's dopamine again.
So you're saying, so you were depressed for 2 years, then you got happy for like a day, and then you were like, whoa, that's so much happiness that it made you depressed.
No. That's how I would have come out of it, if I remember correctly. So you come out of it, or I came out of it because it's like, oh, the sun is shining. Happiness. Not literally. I don't even remember why, but I vividly remember a moment where it's like, oh, okay.
Okay, so you're saying from your depressed state, the moments of clarity you had, like the first moment that you can remember, like of clarity, where it's like, oh shit, there's not that there's hope, but the day continues, is when you saw like sunlight.
No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the sunlight is a metaphor for a happy day.
100%.
For a happy whatever. And in that happening, it kills it died instantly, because the perspective was always there. I think one thing I've always had is self-awareness. So I've always been self-aware that I'm not in a happy state to carry and put on a smile so people don't ask you questions. You know? So with that being said,
so you're saying the pretending to be happy sort of like didn't allow the depression to live?
That happens automatically in the depression. Because also, I'm saying, I'm only figuring out that I could have been had this thing after I had it.
Okay, so you're not sure.
So I'm not sure. I'm just saying what they describe.
Gotcha.
What they describe. The time I felt like this,
Sure.
It was like this, and how I got out of it is like, maybe I was surrounded by happy people, enough people who weren't like in the state that I was in. Maybe that's why I was able to somber through and get out. Because sometimes it's a temporary solution. And at various points of our life, it's gonna stay a little bit longer.
What was happening in your life at that moment in time when you were going through that?
And I think the other times was like, I was in Joburg broke.
Sure.
I think that's the only time. There's never been a darker hole, if to say it's a
in
hole,
life, yeah.
than that. But other than that, when you realize your family got you got whatever. Like, and I was like 21. And I think, it's like, what do you know
Still
at
figuring
21?
it out, yeah.
Exactly. So you haven't lived enough cycles of life to see that this is passing.
Sure.
You're just gonna soldier through.
Okay, question. So, can you catch depression? Let me not say catch depression, because like people will be like, I'm downplaying it. Can you have depression when everything in your life is cool?
I think you can, because it's about the psychological perspective you have in your life.
Okay, then Can you diagnose depression if you don't have everything in your life cool?
Oof, that's interesting. That's interesting, because I think, look, like we said, we give this thing a box so you don't look at it, and then what do humans do once they've been given this box of depression? They go to a specialist, a person who's been told by another person how to deal with this, which is interesting. I find interesting now in overseas and stuff, maybe locally, who knows. People are starting to check out different treatments that were banned, like Psilocybin Mushrooms, which is a whole mind-altering thing where they say you can see your own life from different perspectives. And then
Sure.
I can see how you could heal yourself when you can see, this is not me, these thoughts, because it's all thoughts. Like, it's...
So would you say then it... So would you say then... So rather explain psilocybin from a POV perspective. So if somebody who doesn't know it ingested it, and what would be their perspective? Like, what's happening outside of the chemical, what's in the brain, and like what's actually happening to that individual versus to what I'm trying to compare is them going through that experience, that psilocybin experience, versus what they can do in their own lives to sort of have the same sort of like outcome or thing outside of having a mind altering
experience. Well, the most sober mind altering experience I think I've had is like meditation.
Okay, so what's happening with psilocybin first?
Okay. Well, psilocybin, I think, if you read into it...
So I'm depressed, you depress Silo, you take psilocybin.
But remember I told you that depression physically is your brain scans. It's
Yeah.
The neural networks are shutting down, in a sense. The highways of information in the brain are kind of like...
So in this context, you have somebody who has everything is sharp, but now they have depression.
So naturally, clinically, this would be happening to them. They don't... Living in a mansion, you have everything you want. Don't want to go outside. What am I going to do outside? There's antidepressants which are made by Big Pharma, who's spent lots of money to research how to cure depression and must get their profit back. So there's that, and then like there's other ways I've heard that aren't proven and then don't have Big Pharma certificates to treat the stuff legally, let's say. So like, it says here just a quick Google study on psilocybin and depression says psilocybin appears to be at least as effective as the leading conventional antidepressants and is faster acting with reassuring safety profile when given by professional therapists.
Is this the same Google that gave us a definition of mental illness?
Yes, it's the same Google. Yes. Psilocybin theory appears to be at least as effective as a leading conventional antidepressants and is faster acting and reassuring safety profile when given by professional therapists. And this is like psypost.org. This is obviously a psychedelic website with the post.org. So anyway, having been at a party once and somebody threw mushrooms in the cake, like why would anybody do that? So I went, that's crazy.
Yo,
so
cuz
I didn't know I was taking these things and I was on this thing.
When were you? When was this?
I don't know. Long time ago. Time, space. So I'd say from my own perspective because I think, at school they told us drugs affect people differently. I'd say maybe they're able to, again, back to what I was saying, is that the mind, small. Now, with this stuff, your mind is fully connected at every single corner.
So where your mind was not flicking in certain areas because of depression.
Yes.
Now your
entire brain is on.
Okay.
You're like your information is going from you smelling via your eye processor in your brain via your toe pinky movement, so you remember the time that you smelt that thing as you're stepping on a frog, type of thing. So I feel like when your brain is altered in that stage, then what you call the thoughts of depression, the box that is depression, can then be zoomed out from, and you see that this is a very tiny part of you. You're bigger than this. Sure. You're larger, more alive than this.
Sure. Do you think it's you larger, more alive than this, or do you think?
Remember,
the central focus changes.
The central focus changes, but because the central focus has been boxed in by thoughts. So essentially, these thoughts eradicate like a nuclear bomb has just been lit.
Yeah.
And then you can see it all. The fog, you can't see more than 5 meters ahead of you, and the fog is now gone, and you can see all the way to the Drakensberg.
Okay, so this fog created by a bloated, fat mental state, which can't function well, has obviously the deficit of it is that it has some bad negative effects like depression, sadness, whatever the case is, which then can be cleared by, which I guess one could be cleared by actual mental fitness, whatever that is. Nah?
Yeah.
In theory, if we're speculating. And then the other way could be you saying psychedelics.
Well, I'm not saying, other people are saying. Who am I to say? I'm not an expert.
Okay, so do you think, so there is a way to, let's say, get to the place where psychedelics take you without necessarily taking psychedelics? Mentally.
I think there is. I think because all suffering, like I'm looking here, my brain is automatically going laptop software recording. That is essentially a thought that my brain is accepting, even though I can see it's there, but that me seeing this is creating a thought, right? So with these walls that depression might create and build, the fog that it builds, it's a mix of food wise, what are you eating? Are you bloated? Are you fat? Is your brain fat? If your brain is fat, then it's gonna slowly chop away all of, for instance, right, with sugar, there's something called this, sugar breaks the blood-brain barrier. Basically, your blood in your brain is traveling and doesn't touch your brain. But if you continually eat an overdose of sugar every day, what slowly tends to happen is that the sugar in your blood starts to create holes in that blood-brain barrier, and then that blood goes into your brain and inflates your brain. So you see now how I can stop
depression through sugar.
Yeah, not depression. I can start depression by
eating sugar,
by inflaming.
Yeah.
It inflames.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So that to me would be like a virus. That would.
Is it a virus when it's physical though? Or
no, but that's what I'd say.
The effects of it create
the effects of it, because it's like an external thing affecting you chemically, in which you can't physically function. Yeah, but as opposed to which then goes to physical consumption as a part, an element of mental health.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, but so it's just one element of mental health, as opposed to when it's physical health. I mean, physical health is also, I guess, what you eat and then what you actually do in terms of fitness.
It's a bit of both, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so same thing, I guess, with lentils. It's just your working out, your mental working out would be, I guess, the things that you consume in terms of what you're busy with, what you always focusing on, and whatnot, and then the physical side would probably be the food ingesting and the actual physicality of your body, if you're in shape and whatnot, because which also changes.
Yeah. So how do you work out? How do you make your mind fit?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the question.
What are you thinking?
Okay. Okay, so I'm thinking one, so social. So they say it's emotional, it's emotional, what, and social. Something emotional.
So wait, let me go back. What is mental health? It's emotional, psychological. So in Mondo, emotional, energy, emotion, how you feeling.
Okay, so emotional, how you feeling, psychological, what you're thinking, and then social well-being, relationships.
Yeah, so social, how
social well-being. So whether if you're financially good, human relationships, etc., etc.
Yeah,
I think, So that's a lot of your life. That's all elements of your life encompassed in one thing. So if you're saying emotional, I'd say emotional well-being would be, or fitness would be, I guess, exploring emotionally what are the things that like move me, or how do I react to things emotionally. But am I somebody who's easily or emotionally? Do things, am I, my heart's on my sleeve? No, not to say if it is, then there's something wrong with you, but
is it on your sleeve?
Yeah, like, is it on your sleeve?
Is it a fact that your heart is that we can say your heart is on your sleeve? Cause
like wherever you go, if somebody says something, you flip, or you easily triggered, or whatever the case is.
Yeah, and then you get triggered when somebody says you got a short fuse.
Also, fuck that. Also, is it like how you deal with things? Like, how do things emotionally move you?
Yeah, but the issue. Because you can dive into various, because then we're still talking about emotions.
Okay, fine.
So we can dive in. So
I'd say emotional state would generally be, is it a fluctuating state, or is it like a heartbeat? Yeah, but if you unfit and you're running, your heartbeat is hitting pa 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 pa, hitting like a lot. Yeah, but if you fit and you're running, it can keep at a steady pace without actually being stressed.
Yeah,
right?
It does, like, for instance, when I first started running, I was hitting like 191 maximum heart rates, and then averaging like 170 something. But over a year, that went down to like my maximum heart rate was 178, and while I am running, like the average heart rate is 130. So you see, it's the same heart.
Got you. But the fitness is different.
It's the same heart. It pumps different. I felt my body go from unfit
to fit. Yeah, exactly. So now when you fit, when you go through something, does it have the same effect? Because you going through something unfit, you could have a more volatile reaction, as opposed to going through something fit. Yeah, but because your actual state is out of whack.
Yes, it's like, okay, if we had to go pick up a bunch of boxes now, and I don't pick up boxes at the gym, you know, that
You're gonna be irritated.
I'm gonna be irritated versus, oh, we're just picking up boxes because, you know, I do gym. You know, it's two different. It's two different things. So it goes back to that displeasure thing of chasing pleasure, because sometimes you need to know that while this is not pleasurable and you're not having a great time, you're here, and the road to pleasure again is you getting through this without getting in an unpleasurable state amongst the people that you might be around, or for yourself most of the time.
But I still think that's like,
because that's the 9-to-5 trap.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Do
you hate being here, looking at Excel all day?
But like, could that night is okay?
It's perspective, remember?
Like 100%. But what I'm trying to get to is, if that 9-to-5 is what you want to, is like what you want to do, it's still like your job is going to be shit regardless, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what shit work do I want to do? Is that not the question? As opposed to, oh, I'm unhappy at my work. Because it could be compounded if it's not something that you want to do.
Okay, cool. I see the people that end up thinking I think a lot of people just think that life is the job, or they were just trained to, no, go to school, get a job, and then they get a job, and then they're paying bills, they have a car, but they're not happy. They feel like something's missing. And, well, not in this country. People don't just quit, but, you know, we've seen in the movies, I'm not happy, I just want to find myself. I think that just comes from not knowing that you need something to do during the day, right? So that's just, you can't just wake up and be and have everything. I think part of human life is suffering, even if a little bit is your job. But if you're able to find happiness or happiness or pleasure in what people deem as suffering, then I think you've achieved a whole lot, man.
I guess also
because that's the same trap. It's the same trap we were talking about a minute ago, but it's choosing to see, because, you know, I have a 9-to-5. I got to a point where I was over my 9-to-5, but there was a realization that what else would you be doing at home?
Sure.
Like, let's talk about it. What am I? And I don't watch TV, so like I have very limited things to do.
You'd be. I think you would have to be.
There's something you need to do during the day.
You see everything. Well, my thing is, almost life is like structured in distractions, right?
Yeah.
There's so many things that you can plug into. It's almost like it's distractions.
Yeah.
Right. Distractions which you otherwise wouldn't necessarily have, but all the biological ones would be there still. So you'd always have your sex. You'd always have. I guess you always have alcohol, because alcohol has been with us forever.
Yeah.
You'd always have those main distractions in it, but now the type of things you can get distracted in is like my ning.
That's interesting too. Speaking about this whole thing, because, you know, I was vividly thinking the other day, is like, actually, you know, some of the girls that a nigga wanted when he was younger were like, oh, today. And yeah, some of them are like 30, but like some of them were just like not. Yeah.
Okay.
But most def. Yeah. That's why. But it's more like your brain. That's now. Let's go into psychological, because as a young 21-year-old normal boy, you're broke at 21, so you don't have that thing, right? So then that psychologically pushes yourself down, and then you psychologically say, hey, that girl wouldn't be bad for me. You see how
we have nothing to lose.
You see now, because that's a biological urge that's happening. You need to have sex. So it's like your brain's like, but okay, what about this one? Okay, fine. That one doesn't like you. Okay. That one nobody's looking. You know, right, that one.
I could literally picture her.
Yeah. and beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, your thoughts do kind of paint the picture and the world you live in.
Yeah,
especially if things aren't economically going okay.
Yeah, I just think like, just to go back to your scenarios, like if you weren't at work, you have to be like, if you're at work, the things that I think that can distract you, that are permissible and distract you can. If you have a job, you can be distracted maybe 40%. You can allow maybe 40% distraction in your life.
Yeah.
If you have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because it's mitigated by the fact that, like, it's cushioned by the fact that you have a job, because there are deliverables that you're going to meet. You're going to figure out a way to meet those deliverables at the barest minimum or whatever the case is. And you're going to be able to go on Instagram and go on whatever, or like talk about something or whatever the case is on the job, where there's no real risk you're carrying. And that's what I mean by like the cushion. But when you don't have a job, it's like your mental state is sort of, it's almost like, because there's no safety net, how your mental state is like there's no buffer to that. Like there's no buffer to like the distractions. There's no buffer to whatever. So you can't, like, you have to reduce. You have to be super aware. It's almost like you have to be almost super present.
In
order to bring value, to add like the value that you would like to say what's in your life.
That's definitely true. I mean, because one of the things for me is like, I found myself almost trying to run away from work as soon as I could every day. And that became an underlying factor, no matter how the day was or whether I had nothing to do at home. I just gotta rush back home. And then watch Netflix. You know, it's like, what am I rushing home to really do? Which is like starting point of starting to think like, okay, what are we actually doing here?
100%. 100%.
Is catching yourself, because I don't know. I think we're just brought up and we have parents and we're told do this, do that, to the point where you don't want that smoke with your dad or your mom, and those things get hardwired into you as, we don't do this.
Sure.
And then we never spend the time to stop living, step out of our own routine.
Sure.
Like, and then see, holy shit, I only do this because I was told this.
Sure.
You know, I only do this because of that. I only do this because of that. So, you know, it's a perspective thing. How is the brain looking at your outside world? But everything you see is being processed by you at the same time. So
yeah, because if you actually creating your outside world, it's also a reflection of your internal world.
Yes, because
your outside world is also a reflection of your internal world. Yeah.
Like today when we were at the shop getting lunch, I was just thinking about food. What did you say?
We're
thinking about equing and we're gonna get equing, but I was so stuck in my head about getting food. I don't know what you were talking about. I was like, and you know.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, because you were
hangry.
I was hangry.
Yeah.
I totally forgot. I was just so stuck up in my narrative of going to get food. Whatever you're saying was you and my food. About to the point that I just wasn't even listening to you. I was like, what do you say? We need food now. So in the same thing as work, it's like, a lot of the times it's just people wanting the weekend every weekend.
Dog. 100%. Yeah, but like you go through work just to get to the weekend. It's like
just to go through work to get to the weekend.
You drug yourself with the weekend and then go back again. Now, because you mentioned the food thing, I hear you with the work thing.
Yeah.
Oh, how much does food play a part in your mental fitness or health?
Dude, when I stopped, what is it? When I started fasting.
Sure.
Because I think I did a whole like binge. I watched so many YouTube videos in that month about fasting. But I think one of the things I picked up, it's before you get into what you eat, it's more important when you eat. So the intermittent fasting thing, the window thing. Somebody explained it to you. Dude, in as much as like, you know, the missile weapons thing is like, we're still apes, but we have missile weapons now, but we haven't evolved. A lot of us haven't evolved past our primal instincts and to just use ourselves from present day consciousness.
Sure.
So we still like, I'm gonna kill you if you don't like, I'm the stronger man, like the ape, you know, like we're still monkeys in certain, like if you look at the actions of the world and the context behind them. What were we saying? I got distracted.
I was saying, what was the effect of like food in your mental?
Veggies. So then, remember, I had been told somewhere along the line that if I don't have meat, I'm not a man, I'm not strong. So these are the things that made me not want to not eat meat. So when I tried it, was I shocked to know that there was parts of my brain I wasn't accessing, what people call brain fog. I'll call it brain fog too. There's parts of my brain that I wasn't, you know, I could feel, which this is light. I can see more. Is that mountain always been there in the view of my internal? So that was just intermittent fasting, and then intermittent fasting and veggies. Just intermittent fasting and veggies was its own new layer of brain clarity, and then fasting like 36 hours at a time. That was just even more clarity throughout the week. The problem is that you feel it the first time, but then it becomes normal. But knowing that it's there, like you're able to do tasks longer. Yeah.
Because now you had a hangry moment today, but like, if you are you still doing that stuff?
No, not right now.
So if you're still doing, if you were in that state, let's say if you're still practicing intermittent fasting or whatnot, do you think you would have had the same reaction?
Probably. I'll tell you this, like over the last couple of weeks and a month or two or so, I haven't had a proper like food routine.
Sure.
So like a lot of it just tends to be that I don't have, like, your body likes repetition. Like, just think about how you learn repetition, how you get hungry every day at 6 is repetition, how you get, like, repetition. So I haven't allowed my body to settle into a repetitive mode, which is, like, a routine. So, and routine is very important for the body. Like, a lot of people don't understand how a 9 to 5 saves them by just creating a random routine for them. So, you know, like, it's cool, but I just, you know, I try to be self-aware enough to know that I haven't eaten enough veggies. I just, you know, try to eat a balanced diet most of the time now.
So you still possibly would have been hungry. It just depending on the time, I would have caught you.
Yeah,
based on the routine that you would have.
Yeah, and basically, like when you're not eating 18 hours of a day, there's no way you're gonna slip up and not have food and prolong when you're not eating, you know, type of thing.
Yeah, but like what I've like, yeah, but also for me, it's just the psychological attachment to food.
Yeah, no, because when food is junkiism.
Yeah, dude, it's like it's fucking, dude. It
just
is
sugar alone,
dude.
And if you go check how much,
like just your
sugar.
mood, bro.
Yeah,
like your fucking mood.
Yeah.
Like
coffee as well. Like I think I was mad yesterday. I was like, I got to the office, somebody said something. I was like, I hadn't had my coffee yet.
Yes. So that's all I'm saying is that it's like you don't realize just the effect that it has on the actual mood. Like you may be expressing something which is not necessarily you, but maybe just a byproduct of what your body's not getting or what it's used to getting.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily you. So the fasting for me, it was just like, okay, I could literally gauge the difference between like how you just normally react towards food and things like that.
Like a chocolate bar after 3 months of no sugar. I think I did like 6 months of just like water every day, minimal sugar in my foods, and etc. etc. And the day I had, I think it was orange juice, pure orange juice. It was like a junky feeling. My cells were happy and like, oh my god, like your whole body is saying, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, but every single cell in your body as this juice is going and spreading across. You know?
Yeah, so the amount of that contribution to just your mental health.
Yeah.
Like in the decision, like how you react to things. Yeah, boy, and like so. Dude, I just think like it
Like think about alcohol.
Like health is not the right term because to me health is like
it's the status.
It's like a virus or what or all of these things in and whatnot. But like it's like it literally is more of a fitness and like it's an all-encompassing fitness. Yeah, but and it's like if you're trying to get your mind right, you don't just get your mind right by plampe the things you watch or the things you don't watch, or if you read, you don't read, or whatever the thing is. It's an all-encompassing.
You have to
being. How are
have
you
to
in
be a
this world?
bookworm and hike and watch movies and.
Sure.
And be present to all of it. And even if you listen to the same song every day, but the fact that you still listen to the same song and are open to go to a rock concert, even though you like R&B, is the elements of life. Because remember, we like repetition, so
Sure.
we also like what we don't know. I mean, we like. You know, I mean, people always ask, why do you stay in a relationship even though you're unhappy? It's like, suffering. All my relationships, intombazane mina fanele ngenze ibhari because intombazane ulokhuzana uma wenza ibhari. It's like, and it's like, so long as you can see, then you can take your own future into your own hands, because then you're self-aware, you know where you are, and you know where you can go, where you want to go, you know.
Yeah. Also, you just don't like project.
Yeah.
I think like
that's a bad byproduct of just like not of just being stuck in your own
on your own shit,
own drama, kinda.
Yeah.
Because even ukuzonda abantu needs you to carry a narrative. That's
Sure.
for the most part is not true, and you find out at the beginning it's not true, but you figure out ways to think the dots together.
Sure.
Just very low, Gucci manje.
Sure.
Very. Ngiyabazi abantu abafana njengaye.
Oh no, Mike, get offended by Gucci yomunye umuntu. Why?
All those things, but we know why. We can break it down. It's because you don't have it. You know, that's the only reason you're making an issue out of it is because you research and want to buy it, but then hold up.
Also, what's your attachment to it? Like, what's your attachment to somebody else? Like that, because you have to have some sort of attachment to it.
Hey man, I come from watching TV for 18 years, so the TV will fuck with you, and that's the problem. You get in so early in TV, you don't realize how much of it is affecting your thinking.
100%.
TV, radio, media, billboard, as you walk in the taxi, the person
Good
that you
and
look
bad.
up to, you know. And I think that with a lot of people, it's literally, a lot of us want to be economically well off, and we find the closest person with the shiniest thing,
crazy, dude.
with the shiniest things to kind of look up to, and whatever they say is gold, because you want to be that person somewhere, somehow down the line, because you're already comparing yourself between us and them, him and me.
Because otherwise, that wouldn't be your experience.
Yeah.
Like, just think about it. Like, if you didn't have access to all of these other visuals in, like, the only idea of life you'd have is your actual life experience. So how you'd even think of yourself or place yourself in would be based on your actual life experience, which may not be as bad as you psychologically pace yourself, versus the fact that you are actually seeing the world. So now you're rating yourself against the world.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh my God, shit, life is shit. But amongst your peers or amongst yourself, just when you look around you, it ain't that bad.
It ain't that bad, baby. It ain't that bad, baby.